Hi guys, my name is Broseph and this is not the road to glory, but a prediction video.
I close my eyes, I count to 10.
Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a long while since I've uploaded a video, but I think that now is exactly the right time to do something different than usual. I'm not gonna do a road to glory for FIFA 21. I'm even doubting whether I'm gonna get FIFA at all, because FIFA just seems to get worse and worse. I'm getting more irritated every single year. Plus, since packing the team of the year Messi, that hunger to pack Messi or Ronaldo has been fulfilled a tiny bit. So I'm not sure whether I'm gonna get FIFA. Definitely won't be making videos on it. But what I do want to do for this week is make two prediction videos about the Eredivisie, which is the Dutch league, and the Premier League, because I've got a lot of knowledge, as I may say so myself, about these two leagues, and I want to make a prediction about the standings at the end of the league. So who's going to be the champion, who's going to be relegated, and then at the end of the year I'll make another two videos and see how well I did. So whether I got all of them correct, probably not. Or whether I failed horribly. I've seen Matt HD Gamer do this for a few years, and it seems like a really nice idea to me, really fun. So that's why I really dug into the leagues once again. I took a look at their summer transfers so far. There might be new transfers, but I've taken the transfers up to this point into account, and I've made a list. And today the first video is going to be about the Eredivisie, which is the Dutch league. Which I follow with great interest always. And yeah, let's get started. In the 18th and therefore last place, I've got RKC Waalwijk. They also finished last year. They didn't relegate because of the corona pandemic, but I've seen them play multiple times and they are just not good enough. They were way behind on all the other teams of the league, so I can't see them not being relegated this year. They want to play attractive football, so props to that, but I just don't think that they have the squad to do so, and I don't think that they brought in the necessary transfers to make a big difference. So I think that RKC Waalwijk is going to finish last and that they are going to relegate back to the second division. In 17th place, I've put Fortuna Sittard. They've promoted, I think 3 seasons ago, together with Emma, and I've seen them do less and less every single season. Yeah, I'm not really impressed by this team, and especially they've lost their best player, Diemers, which is going to Feyenoord. So therefore, I can't see them keeping it up. It's a bit of a guess. I'm not sure on this one, but I can this year see Fortuna Sittard being relegated together with RKC Waalwijk. Could be wrong, but my gut feeling says that Fortuna Sittard is not going to make it. Then we move on to the 16th and the 15th spot. I'm unsure which of those two teams is going to finish on which spot. I think that they are pretty close to each other. But in 16th place, I am going to put VVV Venlo. They did really well 2 seasons ago. I think that they were almost unbeatable at home. Had a horrible away record, but at home they were almost invincible. But last season they did They did shockingly worse. They finished, I think, 15th or something like that. And I am gonna place them in the playoff zone. So yeah, it's a bit of a guess. It could also be the next team, which I've put in the 15th spot, which is going to be ADO Den Haag. My favorite team is Ajax, but second to that it's ADO Den Haag, because I grew up here in Zoetermeer, which is near the ADO Den Haag stadium. So I've always had a bit of a connection with that team. So I hope that ADO is going to stay out of the relegation and playoff zone, but I'm not sure. But I think that ADO, they brought in a lot of new players, like a lot of them. So I hope that that's going to be enough. They also sold Beugelsdijk, which is their cult hero. But he was actually, if I believe the ADO fans, he is actually a horrible player. They love him because he is a homegrown boy from their academy, and he has always played for them, but his football skills are horrible. So they got rid of him together with Lex Immers, who has also not been too bright for the last few seasons. And they brought in a lot of new players, and that's why I think that ADO is gonna stay out of the playoff zone, so gonna end 15th, and Venlo are just not gonna make it and are gonna finish in the 16th place. Okay, so in 14th place I've put PEC Zwolle. They are not the team they were when they were coached by Ron Jans. Then they were actually the subtop of the Dutch division. But right now they are doing worse and worse every single season. I think that they were 15th last season. I predict them to be one spot higher this year. They've not done a lot of spectacular transfers, but I can see them doing well enough to avoid being relegated or end up in the playoff zone. In number 13, I've got FC Emmen. They are a team which keeps surprising every single year. They're doing quite well since they've been promoted. Like I said before, they promoted together with Fortuna Sittard, but I think that Emmen is doing quite well, and that's mostly thanks to their trainer, Lukien. He's doing a wonderful job, because if you look at the squad, it's not that spectacular, but the fact that they are doing really well is down to team effort and down to actually good coaching. So hats off for their trainer, Dick Lukien. Alright, so in 12th spot I've put Sparta Rotterdam. They've only promoted a couple of seasons ago, but they've been doing really well ever since. They've brought in a few new players, including Beugelsdijk from Den Haag. But as I said, he's very overrated. He's not actually that good a defender, but they still brought him in. They've also brought in Van Leer as a new keeper, and I think you pronounce it that way, as a new striker. And I think those are quite some good signings, so therefore I can see them ending up in 12th place. Now onto the 11th spot, and this is gonna be one of the two biggest surprises in my selection, in my prediction video, because I think that FC Groningen are gonna finish 11th, even though they signed one of the Dutch all-time best in Arjen Robben. The expectations for Groningen are through the roof now because they signed Robben, but I don't think he alone is gonna be enough to finish like in the 5th spot or something. I think that he will get injured quite soon, and I'm not even sure how good he still is. So I think that Groningen are gonna finish at a very disappointing 11th place. I hope I'm wrong and that Robben is gonna shine. I hope so for all Groningen supporters, but I can't see it happening, and I'm gonna predict a very disappointing 11th spot. So at number 10, I'm predicting Heracles Almelo. Last year they did really well, but that was mainly due to their striker being in top form in Cyril Dessers, the Belgium striker, but he has now transferred to the Belgium League. And I don't think they have found a correct replacement as a striker, so I can only see them do worse than last year. So I predict that Heracles Almelo is going to finish in 10th place, which is respectable for them. I think that they're hoping to finish a bit higher like they did last year, but I just really can't see that happening. And in the 9th place, I'm predicting SC Heerenveen. They've lost Ejuke, one of their front players, which was a really good player. They've lost him. They've got a few players back in Veerman, which is like really a cult hero for them. His quality is not too. I think he's very overrated. I mean, the audience loves him, the fans love him, but I don't think that his quality is actually that good. And they've brought back Mulder, the keeper, which is a good signing. He's played a few years abroad. I do think that that's a nice goalkeeper addition. But maybe my prediction for Heerenveen being 9th is a bit too high. It could be that Groningen finished 9th and that Heerenveen finished 11th. It's really close around here, hard to predict, but I'm gonna say that Heerenveen is gonna finish 9th. So in 8th place, I've got Vitesse. They've lost Matafs and Linse, so two of their main forwards. I'm surprised that they got rid of both. Linse went to Feyenoord, Matafs went to a different club. And I'm curious how they are going to replace those. They've brought in Broja, a loanee from Chelsea, because always Vitesse gets a lot of loanees from Chelsea because they have the same owner in Abramovich. But I'm curious whether that's gonna be enough. Vitesse always finishes subtop of the league, so I can't see that being any different this year. So I'm gonna predict a comfortable 8th place for them. In 7th, I've got Willem II. Last year they even finished 5th, which I think was a bit of a push. I can't see them repeating that again. But still, 7th place for Willem II would be absolutely fantastic. And that's mainly due to their coach Adrie Koster. Since he has been the head of the team, they are doing absolutely spectacular, reaching the cup final 2 years ago. They lost it to Ajax. Yeah. But besides that, Willem II is doing really, really good. So I can see them finishing really high again. I think 5th place would be a bit of a push, but I can see them finishing in the 5th place, in the 7th place. Alright, so now to the second big surprise of this episode. For the 6th place, I'm gonna predict FC Twente. They've only promoted last season, and I think that they finished around 14th or 15th. So now, if they would now finish 6th, that would be a huge surprise. Yet I'm predicting it right here. You heard it here first. They've signed a new coach, being Ron Jans, and Ron Jans just is the perfect coach for subtop teams. For Groningen, he did really well for years. With PEC Zwolle, he made them a force to be reckoned with. And I think that he can now do the same thing with FC Twente. Even though it's a team full of strangers, they've built a completely new team. But if you look at the quality of the players they are loaning, with Danilo and Piri from Ajax, and some other superstars. I think that FC Twente are gonna surprise the rest of the league and are gonna finish 6th. I'm probably gonna be horribly wrong on this one, but I'm taking the bet. And in 5th place, so the best of the rest, basically, I'm gonna predict FC Utrecht. They've got John van der Brom as a trainer, as a coach, which I rate really highly. I think he can do some nice things with his teams, especially with Utrecht. He has proven that over the past few years. He got to the cup final last year, which was sadly for them cancelled due to Corona. But I think that they have a really, really nice squad, and they've lost no key players, and they've brought in Mahi and Elia. So I think that last year I think they finished 6th. I think that they're going to finish one spot higher this year in 5th, and I think that they are going to be the best of the rest. Alright, so now onto the part which really matters. Who is going to be the champion? Who's going to finish 4th, 3rd and 2nd? In 4th place, I'm going to predict quite a downfall for AZ Alkmaar. They finished 2nd place on goal difference to Ajax last season. They're still very angry about it. They sued the KNVB, but UEFA ruled that Ajax and the KNVB were right, so Ajax is into the Champions League now. But I've seen AZ play in the friendlies up till now and in their first European game, and it's so bad. Like Stengs and Boadou, 2 of their star players, are not performing at all. Idrissi, their star man up front, is not doing that well either. So I'm gonna say that last season was a one-season wonder, and that they're gonna be 4th this year, which is still quite nice for AZ. But I just can't see them finishing 2nd or even pushing for the championship again. So I think that AZ will have a very disappointing season because expectations are high after last year. But I think that they're gonna disappoint and end at a 4th place. At 3rd place, I've got PSV. They've got a new trainer in Roger Schmidt. He's a German trainer, and so it's hard to predict how they're gonna do it because they brought in a new trainer. I have no clue. Maybe they will even become champions. It's hard to guess from up here, but I think that PSV is gonna be 3rd, not because they are bad, but simply because the next 2 are better. Let's put it that way. They've got a really good new left back in Max. And a nice new goalkeeper addition in Mvogo from Red Bull Leipzig. He's probably gonna be the new keeper or fight that battle with Oenerstal. I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. I think that they've got quite a nice squad, but I think that they're just at a few positions they're just not good enough to really push for the championship. So I think that they're gonna finish in the 3rd place this year. Alright, then onto the most important part of the video. Who's gonna be the champion? Who's gonna just come short? In 2nd place, I've got Feyenoord Rotterdam, obviously. I've got Feyenoord since they've got rid of Jaap Stam as a coach and brought in Dick Advocaat. They've been doing a lot better. And maybe if the Eredivisie had been going on for longer, they might have even pushed for being the champions. Luckily, Corona ended it and Ajax finished 1st. But it became quite tense last season, and I can see them doing that again. I think that they're going to be a real push for the champions. It's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised actually if Feyenoord became champions this year, because Dick Advocaat is a very good coach. They've brought in Brian Linssen, so they've got a bit more width up front. They've also brought in Diemers from Fortuna Sittard. I don't think he is the quality Feyenoord should aim for, but still, it's a nice substitute, or maybe even a starter, I don't know. They've only lost Jan-Arie van der Heijden and Tapia, but I don't think that those were the key players anyway. So I see Feyenoord coming up just short, not too many points behind the number 1, maybe even become champions, maybe also become 3rd. Like, it's hard to predict how PSV is going to do. I think AZ will definitely be 4th. I'm quite confident in that, but top 3 could be totally different. I predict PSV 3rd and Feyenoord 2nd, but it could also be the other way around. And then at number 1, I'm biased, obviously, but I think that most of the Netherlands agree that Ajax is the title favorite. Last year, they had a really close call with AZ, because after the Christmas break it went downhill. It was mostly due to a lot of injuries, but the team spirit just seemed to collapse. Everything went against us. So I'm glad the Eredivisie stopped, because else AZ would probably have been champions, or maybe even Feyenoord. But I think for this year, Ajax is the clear title favorite. They have been demolishing their friendlies. Like they've played against RKC Waalwijk, finished 6-1. They've played against Utrecht. They've scored 5 goals in the first half. And the most important thing is that they've lost only 2 key players, being Ziyech and Van de Beek. And for Ziyech, they've brought in a replacement in Anthony, and he has been really good so far. And for Van de Beek, we have some youth players, for example, Gravenberg or Ekkelenkamp, or maybe even Labiat or Tadic. Our squad is very broad. We've got a lot of good players. So I do predict Ajax to be the main champions once again. Yes, that's just what I hope for, and I think that most of the Netherlands will probably agree with me. And this is also the end of my prediction video. So I will make another one for the Premier League, which comes out in a few days, or maybe today. Don't know when I'm going to release this, before the league starts. Let's put it that way. And at the end of the season, I'll make another video and compare this and compare my predictions to the actual outcome. And I will probably be horribly wrong with Twente. I can see so happening. But I hope that the rest is mostly correct. But for now, guys, I'm out. Ciao.